And welcome back to the second segment of Fab Life. And here we are with the Kevon's movie review of Captain Marvel. But
Wakanda forever!
Wakanda forever. That if you were watching the first segment, it sort of like became a review more of the theater than of the movie. This is quite a very interesting episode of Fab Life.
Now, just before we continue, keep this in mind. For a lot of the fellow people that we're kind of going in vein of, that we're doing movie reviews, even they have discussed how their experience in the theater can make or can rise up or bring down their experience watching said movie.
Yes.
So they've talked about that many times. Grace Randolph from Beyond the Trailer has talked about that on numerous occasions when she's gone to a movie to review. Exactly. And she said the exact same thing, a standard thing or IMAX, 3D, stuff like that. And she's seen it in multiple levels.
Yes. See, and now that you're talking to me, it's like I got this revelation because I remembered. And I don't do this anymore because I know better.
Okay.
Many moons ago, I made the mistake, this was in the Philippines, of renting during the time of the VHS.
Yeah.
I rented The Abyss. I thought it was the original copy. I went to see it and it was a horrible bootleg copy of The Abyss.
Yeah.
And guess what? I did not enjoy the movie,
right?
But I saw potential in it because it seemed like even it was a bootleg copy. So I kind of see your point of view that the story was even good, and I said, I'm going to make an effort to watch this in its original form, the way it's supposed to be seen. And then I saw it, and I had like I said, wow.
Right, the best time.
The Abyss is an amazing movie.
Yeah, I mean, but we're talking about James Cameron, who is a pusher of boundaries with movies and director and writing, because he writes a lot of his own stuff as well. So we know when he's doing a movie or has his hands in it, there's a certain quality to that. And to your point, when you watch something that's physically underwhelming, it doesn't really help you kind of dive into the world that you're trying to create because it's inferior quality.
Yes.
And you have an accurate point to that.
And I always see it through the point of view of an artist and as a fashion designer. Because and I'm not trying to put myself on that pedestal, but once you've been...
Of course you do. Come on now. Of course you do.
But once you've been designing and you've been looking at the shows of the masters, the grand masters, in Paris, Milan, London, New York, and you see other stuff of some people who have no clue but you're like oh my gosh. And that's the same, I don't even know if I'm making sense to you, audience. But that's also my approach in watching movies, is the same way that I treat fashion. I want to see something spectacular. I want it to be an emotional experience, because in fashion, a high-end label is not only supposed to sell you something, but it's supposed to elicit an emotional response.
Absolutely correct.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm in Chanel.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I'm in Louis Vuitton.
No, absolutely correct.
Oh my gosh, I'm in Dior. And like you go in their stores and it feels like they're not selling anything. It feels like you've entered another world.
Well, here's the thing. That brings a question to me. Do you look at movies from a micro perspective or a macro perspective? What I mean by that is when you say what you're saying, it seems like you're looking at details. The things, obviously you're going to get the big sweeping this and the big this and this, but you're looking at the details of it. And my thing in contrast is very simple. Can you make me believe what you want me to believe? How does your story have me dive into your world? As long as you can do that, as long as you paint a picture of that and can sell it going through, then I will call that
definitely,
a quality movie.
And I know exactly what you're saying in terms of storyline. nothing's going to change. The story is going to remain
I get that.
the same. But in terms of viewing it from an inferior to a superior screen, that's going to change exponentially.
Okay. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that, and there's value to that.
Yes.
My question is, does it increase or decrease? That's the thing that I'm concerned about. Because if you get it and the colors are bright and they're broad and have the contrast here and there, and then the sound is just whooshing in.
And then the experience is immersive, most especially in the... this movie actually reminds me more of Star Trek than Star Wars anything. It kind of...
Okay.
Did you feel that? There's like
I see elements
Star
of that.
Trek vibe to it.
I would say if you were to go there...
and Romulan, to be more precise.
Actually, I thought of Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of. Because when they go back there, they're foreigners in their own world.
Be careful with spoilers.
Well, Star Trek 4, that's like almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know Star Trek 4?
Yeah.
Trekkies out there, they know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not talking
not about that. I'm not going to do the spoiler.
Marvel,
yeah. So I already gave one, I won't do the rest.
Yes.
Right, but it was like, because in Star Trek 4, this their own world, not their time, not anything, but it's their home. So it's, it's kind of like a duck out of it's like a culture shock in the weirdest way possible. Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt when I looked at it from a mental point of view. From an emotional standpoint, it was, I just could not connect with it the way I wanted to, and they had their opportunities. It's not like the movie was trash, because again, it's not a trash movie.
It's not a trash movie.
This movie is not trash at all. Right. Despite our critiques of it from obviously the theater perspective and from how they started to tell the story, this is not a trash movie. But as far as like it making me connect and go, wow, look at her go, and oh wow, and this, that, I just didn't get that. I didn't emote to that and go to that feeling to make me feel like empowered or anything like that. Which is too bad. But they have like 20 something movies under their belt, and there's only one movie that I felt like, two that I felt all the way down with. 3 actually. And I'm gonna do it from third to Age of Ultron, right? The first Avengers, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Oh, that was really an awesome
That was that to me was the best one they've ever done. And honorable mention will be Iron Man 2.
But like Civil War was also a good movie.
It was, but for me, I couldn't connect with that movie.
With Civil War.
Right. Now, granted, great action. Everyone knows the pedigree of that. The action was great. I love Captain America. I love Chris Evans in that role. He does a great job. But for me, the Winter Soldier was way better than Civil War.
And you guys know me, I love the Star-Spangled Man with a Plan. Star-Spangled Plan.
Right. I won't go there. I won't go there. I won't even go there, baby. Because we're doing movie review. I'm not going there.
I loved it when he turned from a teeny weeny man to a big man.
To a big man. See, you're just giving me you're filling me easy calls, man. But I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna take it. At least not that one.
I just love messing around with him on this way.
I'm just like, so easy. Not gonna do it though. Not gonna do it.
But in all seriousness, do you think that Captain Marvel has a fighting chance against Thanos?
Yes, and this is why. Because for everyone who has seen Infinity War, they know that he used the gauntlet.
Okay.
So when he did the snapshot, I know they changed the name, but I'm going to call it that. When they did the snapshot, the gauntlet was broken. It was fused. So he can't use it a second time.
Oh, okay. Is that right?
You see what I'm saying? So once he used it, that was it.
Okay, see that I didn't know.
Right, so
I thought it was reusable.
No, I don't think so. Because once he used it, it was charred. It was cracked. The stones were used. That's it. So now that he has that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they'll reset that for the next movie, to be quite honest with you. But how they set it up from my eyes, he's just a regular space guy doing regular space guy stuff. Now, obviously, he's still formidable. That part we already know. But is he formidable enough for Captain Marvel? I'm gonna say no, but it's gonna be him and the people that he's in charge of.
Yes.
That makes that issue, because how many people did he have? How many people, different abilities do they have?